Homeschool burnout is real, y'all. Today's video is my 5 quick tips on how to avoid homeschool burnout. It is a video collaboration hosted by Jessica over at the Waldock Way and Abby at Rooted in Rest. So I'm going to put the playlist in the description so you can watch all the videos that are included in this collaboration, and links to their channels because they're awesome women. So watch my 5 tips and hopefully you can avoid homeschool burnout. Okay, so like I said, these are going to be 5 quick tips on how to avoid homeschool burnout. It is very easy for us to just go, and then not want to go anymore. So I have 5 things that I try to do that really help in not getting for not getting burned out. So the first tip is get out of the house. Sometimes as homeschoolers we can just stay in the house all the time, getting things done, and we need to get out, change things up, shake things up, get out, get some fresh air, go places, or if you're going to many places all the time, come back home. So that can go either way. But that first tip is get out of the house. Don't do everything in one spot all the time, and so change things up that way, and that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is be willing to quit what is not working. And that's hard for us because we plan and plan and plan and we get everything perfect, and then when we get started, sometimes that can just bog us down. So be willing to quit what doesn't work. Push it aside, because what is not working is only causing stress, and you only need to do what's actually good for you and your family. So one example I have on that is when the first serious, like when we all found out about COVID last March, and we all went down on the very first 2-week lockdown. I somehow even though I was being at home a lot anyway, being told to not leave my house really did something to me, to my mind, and it felt, I was so overwhelmed and so stressed out that we were using the good and the beautiful at the time, and for one, that was stressful on us anyway. Because it was too much on us. So I was in my bedroom crying one day, and when I came out, my husband asked me what was wrong, what's going on, and I just told him how overwhelmed I was, and he said, well, do you have to finish it? And I said, well, I paid for it, and he said, but is it going to hurt anything if you quit? And I thought about that for a little bit, and I said, no, it's actually going to be freeing. And so even though I had paid for that curriculum and we were only in March and we were supposed to go through at least May to finish, I quit. I put it down, never looked back, and I have not regretted it. Then those 2 months, I say 2 months, we quit our curriculum in March, and we went out and we spent a lot of time outside. We didn't start school back up this year until August. And so we started at the beginning of August, but still, so we had March, April, May, June, and July completely off of school in the sense of curriculum, but we still did a lot of learning, a lot of science, a lot of student-led discovery, and so it was just, it opened us up to look into whatever we wanted to look into and do whatever we wanted to do, and we weren't constricted by curriculum and we had to do something specific. Some of you can do that all the time and some of you can't, but I do encourage you that if you have something that's not working, just put it down and walk away. So my third tip is to be willing to change. So it kind of goes right along with being willing to walk away, but be willing to change your curriculum, yes. Be willing to change your routine. If you set something up perfectly in your mind and you started it and it's not working, change it and do something else. Change up your routine, change up your schedule. Hopefully you have a routine instead of a schedule, because schedules are impossible to stick to in homeschool. But change up your routine. You know, this year, actually, a few months ago, we changed up our morning routine because the kids just weren't able to like get up and do what I wanted them to do. So we started doing what I call cuddle up, and in the morning I wake the kids up and we go straight to the couches and we cuddle for a good 30 minutes before we start our day, before I go start cooking breakfast, before we go sit down at the table and do our handwriting and our language arts and all of that. And that has helped us tremendously. Sending them outside while I cook breakfast helps tremendously. So be willing to change. Be willing to change your curriculum if it's not working. Be willing to change up your routine. Try new things. And take a break. You can take a break and take 2 or 3 days to figure it out. Your curriculum does not own you. So take a break and figure out how to make things better for you guys, or take a break to just breathe and take a minute, because you'll burn out if you don't. Okay, so that takes us to tip number 4. And that is go wherever the wind blows. And that just means that, like I keep saying about being bound by your curriculum, it can weigh you down so much sometimes that if you will just be willing to take time to follow interests. Like last year, one of my sons was super interested in Japan and everything Japanese. He started learning Japanese. He watched all kinds of videos about Japanese culture, but I allowed him that time to follow his interest. So there were things that I had planned that I had to give up so that he could follow what he was actually interested in. And there is so much that he learned that he would not have learned if I didn't allow him space to follow those interests. Some other things that we've gotten off into just because the kids were interested in it in the time are like geology. My kids know a lot about rocks and formations and things like that because that's what they were interested in the time. They got really interested in microscopes, and so I found a way to get them a microscope, and we have looked at all kinds of slides and figured out different what different things look like under a microscope. Just be willing to give them space in your day, in your week. At some point, when you are doing your curriculum and something comes up and you see something spark in them, follow that interest. They're not going to be interested in that for years, and maybe they will, but they're not going to be interested in that for years and years and years. My son has already moved on from being super intense with Japanese culture. He's moved on and wants to learn Swahili now. So languages maybe for him would be a good super focus for us, but they're going to change their focus and they're going to change their interests. So you only have a small window to actually go with the flow and follow those interests, because when they're interested in it, they're going to learn so much more than whenever you're just drilling into them what you think they should be learning. So I want to encourage you in that way, and that brings us to tip number 5, and it is make a point to spend time with other people. Now I know we all get crazy about, oh, everybody thinks we're homeschooling and our kids need to be socialized, and you know, that's a hot topic. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about socialization. I'm talking about you can get into your schedule so hard, your routines and your daily things, that you will look up and realize, I don't think we've spent time with anybody in like 2 months. To avoid burnout, don't just stay at home all the time doing your own thing. You have to make a point to schedule get-togethers with other people. And that really will help because it refreshes you. You can spend time with that mother talking about whatever y'all want to talk about. The kids get to play with other kids. You can make that as structured as you want. You can learn some lessons together. You can do lessons like a co-op or something like that, or you can just go spend time with some friends. For me, it's really encouraging to go spend time with other people, especially other homeschoolers, because I will kind of witness, you know, watch how they work together. What are they doing? What are they doing that encourages me? And then I come home and I might tweak this or that and do things a little bit differently because I was around other people and got to see how they do life. So those are my 5 tips. I hope they were quick enough for you. I will run back down them again. Get out of the house more often. Even if, I don't know if I said this at first, but even if it's COVID and you can't go anywhere, you can't take your kids all up into Walmart, go outside of your, go in your own yard. Get out of the house. Okay, so get out of your house, quit what doesn't work, just quit it, walk away. Be willing to change. You can change your curriculum, you can change your routines, you can change your mind, you can change your day. You can start the day with curriculum and then be like, no, not today. So be willing to change, follow where the wind blows, follow your kids' interests, and then number 5, spend time with other people. Maybe I'll throw in a number 6, and that is, mama, take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, you will burn out faster than a candle. You will burn out so fast. You have to find things to take care of yourself. And with that being said, I just recently did a self-care video of how busy moms can take care of themselves, so I will link that in the description as well so you can watch that whole video, because we do need to take care of ourselves. So there you go, 5 quick tips on how to avoid homeschool burnout. I love this collaboration, guys. Watch all the videos in this collaboration because these mamas are awesome. We all do things differently and we can all learn from each other. So thank you for being here. Leave your comments. Tell me what you do to avoid burnout. Give me likes and subscribes and come back. See you.